Hello everyone, welcome to my day 10 React.js in-depth tutorial. So this is my channel and I uploaded 9 videos on React.js in-depth tutorial. So even you will find videos on React.js crash course, 5 videos on React.js crash course. Discover all the concepts in React.js in short span of time from beginner to advanced level. Even you will find concept on Redux and Firebase also. You'll find videos on Angular 8 videos on Angular 8, discover all the important concepts in Angular starting from the beginner to advanced level along with authentication in Angular also. You'll find 3 videos on CSS3, then 4 videos on HTML5. So in short, we can say this is the best channels if you want to learn web development. So if you want to be a UI developer, so this is the best channel. Please go through all these videos and subscribe to my channel. So without wasting much time, so we'll come to our today's concept. Today we are going to learn one of the important and most important, we can say, concept in React.js, that is Redux concept. Redux with React.js. Okay. So this is what my application. I designed entire application in the Redux. So these are all like coming from the Firebase. Even we are using the Redux concept. In add employee also, where we can add the employee, that there also we have used the Redux concept. Okay. So in the employees section, if you see before this, there are 2 employees. If you go to our Firebase, this is my Firebase, you will find 2 employees. Okay, this is 1 employee and this is 2nd employee. You can get the details of the employee. These are all faced using the Redux concept. Okay, and you can delete the employee also. Deleted successfully, 1 employee left. You can edit also. Edit the name, edited, K is added. You can remove the edited name also. If K is removed. You can delete the employee, this employee too. So once it's deleted, it's deleted from everywhere. Okay. So this I need to fix it. Okay. Earlier I have not noticed this one. Okay. No issues. So let me come to the employees page again. It will be removed. So now we are not seeing any employees because we have deleted everything from our database, from the Firebase. If you go to the Firebase, you won't see the employees node there that you have seen earlier. So we'll add some employee. How we can add the employee? By using the add employee page. Here, let me add my first employee. My first employee is me. Okay. I'll give employee ID of emp1, email as this one, then country India, let it be. Yeah, it's added. So if you go to our employees page, you will find that it will get added. Then if you go to the Firebase also, you will find my name is added with country India and email ID, everything. Okay. So likewise, we can add more employees. Let's add Rahul. It's having employee 2. Let it be I will give the employee ID as emp2. Then email, any email. So we'll choose Rahul, this one. Then let's change the country to Australia. Save it. Okay, it also gets saved. If you go to the employees page, you will find 2 employees. Even in the Firebase, you will find 2 employees. Okay, this one is the Rahul. Okay, Rahul. So in this way, we can add the employee to the Firebase also. We are doing using the Redux concept. Okay. So let me tell you what we have to do to work with the Redux. First of all, you have to install these 3 commands in your Node.js command prompt. Okay, go to if your server is running, then stop the server by pressing Ctrl C and then type Y, it will be stopped. Then go to your project folder and run this command one by one. Okay, these 3 commands are needed for working with the Redux concept. One is npm install -save redux, npm install -save react redux, npm install -save redux thunk. Redux thunk, why it is needed? For doing our ajax call in Redux. So we will do the ajax call using the Redux also. So this is how, in this way we can work with the, after installing all these 3 commands, all these 3 packages, we can work with the Redux. So let me give about a brief introduction about the Redux, how it works. So in Redux there are 3 concepts. One is store, second is action, another is reducer. Okay, so store is a, you can say store is a central place where we will store the data related to our application, store the state of our application. Like these are the employees which has been stored in the store. How you can see that? So for debugging your React.js using the Redux concept, you have to install a dev tool, Redux dev tool also for debugging purposes. This is necessary. Okay, here click on this. You will find this as an extension in the Chrome browser and add the extension. I already added, that's why we are seeing the remove button. Okay, so this is the Redux dev tool is needed for debugging purposes. Then do inspect element. This window will open. Go to the Redux tab. This is my Redux area where we can see. Okay, let me remove everything. Go to my home. See, let me refresh my page also. See, first of all, like when we load our application, this init is being called. Init is an action. What is action? We will come to that. Then here we have a state. We will go to the raw. You can see the state of our application. So this is where, like, we are storing this state in the store. Store is a central in-memory database, you can consider it at, where we can store the data so that it will be reutilized or it will be like used by some other component. So earlier we are doing this using the state property as well as set state method if you want to update our state. So now we are not going to use the state or set state property. We are going to use the Redux concept. So whatever the state I needed for my application, I am storing that in my store, which is a central in-memory database you can consider. So this is how we are storing. So how we are storing this, we will show that. I will show it. Don't worry. So this is how my store look like. So this is the state of my store. So on the page load, this is my store where employees is empty because we have not called the employees API. So employees is empty. Original data is empty. Loading is false. Success is false. Message nothing. So now I will go to the employees page. If you see, there are 2 event has been fired. These 2 events are called action. Okay. So in Redux we have a store which is a central in-memory database. Then comes the action. Action is an event, you can say, if you want to update something in the store, or if you like if you want to update some state in the store, then you have to dispatch an action, and this action will be dispatched from the component. Okay, so in the employee component, I need this employee related data from the database. So I am triggering 2 actions. One is fetch employee start action, another is fetch employee success action. If it gets somehow, because of some reason it get failed, the API call get failed, then you could have seen, instead of fetch employee success, you could have seen fetch employees fail action. So in the fetch employee start, if you go to here, we can see the state here. So here state is, if you see, we are making the loading as false, sorry, loading as true. Initially in this state the loading was false. When I am coming to this state, only the loading state is changed to true. That's why we are seeing the spinner. Okay, you can go to this state again just by click on the jump method. So this is a time traveling debugging. If I click on the jump, now you can see the same spinner with no employees. Again, if I will jump here, you will see the employees. So this is time traveling debugging. So in the difference section, you will see what's the difference. So only difference is loading was initially it was false. It now changes to true when this action is triggered. So action is dispatched from the component to manipulate the state in the store. Okay. Then comes the success. In success, you will find the difference also. In the difference, see, these are the employees which has been added. Earlier it was an empty array. Even our loading also changed from true to false. When loading is true, you will see the spinner. When it is false, the spinner disappears. So in original data also you will see the data related. So original data contains the exact data of our Firebase. This ID along with employee detail. ID, employee detail. So this ID corresponds to this one. Okay. This ID, this ID. Okay, this is our state. This is the difference we can say. If you want to see the state, you can see the state. Employees array is populated with 2 employee because we have 2 employee. Even original data is also populated with 2 properties for each employee. And you can see the loading is false. We don't need any spinner. Success is false. So success true false is needed when we want to show the dialog box. We'll see that. When success is true, we'll see the dialog box. When success is false, we won't see the dialog box. Then comes the message. Message also, like if you want to delete something, here we can say deleted successfully. If you want to update something, you can populate the message with update successfully. For this message is needed. So clear, right? So it is all about the store concept. In the store, we can store is a centralized database, in memory database, where we are storing the state of our application. This state will be needed in our entire application. Whichever component wants to access to the state, we need to connect that component to the store. Connection is also an important concept. Then to manipulate the store, we have to dispatch the action from the component. And actually this action are not going to change the state in the store directly. The action is being executed by a pure function, a reducer. So what action contains, we'll see that. Okay, if I will go to the action tab, see, this action contains the type. So every action has a mandatory type which describes the action, which type of action. So mandatory, each action has a type, and optional is the payload if you want to send some data with the action. So here this action is needed for loading purposes for the spinner, so we don't need any payload. But if you go to the success, you will find the action. In this action we are sending the type along with payload. One is employees payload and along with the original data. This employees and original data we fetch from the database by using the AJAX call. We'll see that. So once we get the data from the database, we are passing this as a payload in the action. And this action is being executed by the reducer. Based on the type in the reducer, I will show that in the reducer we have a switch statement. Based on the type of the action which it matches in the switch statement, it will execute that action and it will update the state in the store. So once again I am summarizing everything. So in Redux there are 3 concepts. One is store, second one is action, third one is the reducer. Store is a in-memory centralized database where we are storing the state of the application so that it can be reutilized by other component. Second is action. To manipulate anything in the store, to manipulate the state in the store, we need to dispatch an action. This action is being dispatched from the component, and this action are cached by the reducer, which is a pure function, and this reducer execute this action on the basis of type as well as the payload. On the basis of type, we have in the reducer we have a switch statement. On the basis of type, whichever the switch statement, whichever case it matched, whatever the logic written within that case statement, that will be executed, and whatever the payload we have provided with the action, that payload will be used for changing the state in the store. We'll look into that. This is the whole concept of Redux. And what is the advantage of here is, like if it is a complex, so our application is not that much complex. Actually, Redux is being utilized when we have a complex application having a large amount of data or large amount of component. So in a larger application, if you want to pass the data from parent to child component or any other component, either we have to pass that in the URL or by using the props. And if there are more than 5 level of hierarchical, so that, like, let's suppose parent, we want to pass the data from parent to child 5. So within the parent and child 5 there are 4 more children. So we have to pass the data using the probes from parent to child 1, then child 1 to child 2, child 3 to child 4, then finally to child 5. But the probes that we have passed from child 1 to 2, 3, 4, these intermediate children, these probes are may not be necessary for those children, but we need to pass that in order to reach the child 5. So this kind of complexity we can reduce by using the Redux. So it means like we have a centralized database, like store in memory database, where we are storing the state of the application, where we are storing the data. Whichever component need that data, they can subscribe, they can connect to the store. So if in parent we are calling the action, and action will be cached by the reducer. It's update the state in the store. In the child 5, we directly connect child 5 to the store, and child 5 will fetch the data from the store. So in this way, like, this intermediate passing of data get reduced. This is the main advantage. Okay. So we'll go to this concept. Now what we have to do, first of all, let me open our application. Close on. So in order to work with the Redux, you have to install these 3 commands. After these installations, you have to install the Redux dev tool. This is how it looks. It is used for debugging purposes, and it's being necessary so that you can see the action along with this, what that action is doing with the state, difference in the state, the type of the action, payload in the action, all this kind of debugging you can do. You can do the timetabling debugging by clicking on the jump buttons. So all these steps can be done by using the Redux dev tool. It's one of the important tool to work with the Redux for debugging purposes. Then after all this, we have to directly go to the index.js file. In index.js file, what we have to do, you have to import provider from React Redux. This provider is needed. Then you have to import create store, apply middleware, compose, combine reducer from Redux. Okay. Then you have to import thunk from Redux. Thunk to call means this is necessary for doing Ajax call in the Redux. So this is up to this. Then we have a reducer. So in my application I have one reducer, which is a pure function, employee reducer. We will come to that reducer in a bit. So just here point to note is you have to import all the reducer. If you have more than one reducer, you can import that too. So for time being, I am having only one reducer. Then you have to you have to use const compose enhancer, any constant you have to declare here. and you have to make our dev tool workable. Like this, by installing the dev tool won't satisfy. We have to connect our application with the dev tool. To connection of application with our dev tool, to make the dev tool workable, what we have to do? We have to write this line, entire line. So what it means? It's an environment variable. It means in the development mode we need our Redux, means we need our dev tool. But when it is in production mode, we don't want our dev tool to be workable, because in production, if you make the dev tool workable, then anyone can see your application state, which is we don't want users to see our application state. So we have to make this null. Then we have to or compose. This entire statement is needed to make our dev tool workable in the development mode. Then comes the important concept, combined reducer. This combined reducer, in which we will combine all our reducer into a single reducer, root reducer. So we can, in our application, depending on the state, we can have multiple reducers. Like in current application, we need only employee state related to only data related to the employees. That's why I have created only one reducer. If we have some more reducer, you can give comma, then some name. Like if we have some order, you can put that order, then order reducer. You have to create this reducer after import that. Likewise, and these employees corresponding to the employees slice of state. If you see in our dev tool, this is our, so we will go to the state. See, this is our state, which is an object. In that object, we have a slices. This is a slice of state employees. If we have order, then we have ordered colon something. Okay, this is our slice employee. Okay, EMPS. This way we can place we can create the slice of the state. Okay. Then we have to use the create store. In create store, we have to provide this root reducer, because the reducer is needed for updating the store. So that's why we need the store to know about the reducer. And if you have more than one reducer, we have to combine this reducer into a single reducer, and that single reducer we have provided to the create store method. Okay. Then we have compose enhancer along with this one. In that compose enhancer, we have to provide apply middleware that we have to import. Then we have to provide the thunk. Why the thunk is being provided within the apply middleware? Because thunk comes in between the action and reducer. So if something comes in between the action and reducer, that is called a middleware. So thunk is a middleware. Means thunk is needed for AJAX call. In thunk, we will call the HTTP call to our database. We will get the data. Means actually what is happens, our component trigger the action. Then this component trigger the thunk action, the AJAX call action, and this thunk will do all the AJAX call. After that, the thunk action will trigger or dispatch another action, so that will be means in that action we are providing the whatever the response we get from the database. Thunk will dispatch another action with a type and payload of that action will be the whatever the response we get from the database. That action will be cached by the reducer, and reducer will update the state. So first component will trigger an action, which is a thunk action. Thunk will call the AJAX call. Then thunk will again dispatch another action with the payload, whatever it receives from the database. Then that action with the payload will be received by the reducer. So thunk is acting as a middleware between the action and reducer. That's why we have to do apply middleware. Then we have a provider. In the provider, we have to provide the store to connect our application to our store. Okay, so this store variable corresponds to this one. A store is a property in the provider. That's why we have to import the provider from React Redux. Okay, this is the entire setup that we have to do with the index.js. Then what next? Then we have to go to then we'll see how we can create our action and reducer. So for that I have created a store folder. If you see in the store folder, we have actions as well as reducer. We'll open the action first. In the action, let me open the action type.js. So in this type, we are declaring only the constant of the action name. These are the type of the action. This is what we are providing as a type. If you see in the debugging tool, you will see. So if I will go to the action, for this we are seeing this type is fetch employee success. This type we have this defined here, fetch employee success for the action fetch employee success action. So for the action fetch employee success, the type is fetch employee success. Okay, this one. This we are configured within the action type.js file. So we have a start for loader for success. If our Ajax call gets success, then fail if our Ajax call gets failed. Likewise, same for the add employees also. So this is for fetching the data from the database for the employee screen in this screen. And for the add employees, for posting the data to the database, we have again three action types. For deleting the employees, we also have 3 actions. For updating the employees, we also have 3 actions. Then for fetching the employee detail also we have 3 action types. And this is one action type for closing the model, and it is for setting the employee ID. Okay, so wherever we need the Ajax call, we have to declare 3 action types. One for loader, one for success Ajax call, one for fail Ajax call. And here we don't need any Ajax call. We want to close the model. That's why only one action type. Clear? We'll see how we are utilizing this one. Then we'll go to the employees.js file. This is the area where we'll define our action creators. Okay, so we'll first look into this employees action. So what we have done, so before that I will open my employees component also, so that we can compare employees.js. So in our earlier application, if you have watched my previous videos, you must have seen I was fetching the employees related data in the component did mount, this area. Now I have commented this one because all this Ajax call using the XCS we will do in the Redux. So we don't have to call this in component did mount. I moved this Ajax call access.get to my action creator. So here, if you see, here I have moved entire access call. So this one is an action creator. It's a function which returns another function with a parameter dispatch, and within this dispatch function we will call our Ajax call, and this is possible only because of Redux Thunk. That's why we have to import Thunk from Redux Thunk. Also we need to initialize. Okay, so this is all, means the Ajax call is only possible because of Redux Thunk. And fetch employee is the action creator which create an action in which it will return an function with a parameter dispatch. In this function we are calling the Ajax call. And so if we have seen here, in the component did mount, when we are doing our AJAX call, we need our spinner to appear till the data is being fetched from the database. Once it gets fetched, we are making this loading as false, along with updating employees as whatever the response we are getting from the database, along with the original data also. All the stuffs we are doing here, right? So this everything we move to our Redux concept. So if you see, if I will scroll to the top, in the state I am not using state at all. That's why I have removed everything, because employees that is being handled by the Redux, loading even handled by the Redux, success, original data, message, because we'll see everything you are seeing right in the state, everything we have handled in the Redux. The employees, then if you see original data, this one, then you will see the loading, success, message, everything we have handled in the React. So we don't need state at all there. So sometimes like we can use the state also in some cases, like if you want any state to be configured, to be used for this component only, not for the other component, then you can utilize that state here instead of moving that to the Redux. But I moved everything to Redux so that we can manage everything in the Redux. Okay, so again we'll go to our action. So if you in the employee.js file here, if you see in the component did mount, before calling our AJAX call, we need our spinner to appear. So this how we can do in Redux. For that we have another action creator, fetch employee start, in which we are, this is an action creator. This one is the action creator. This is called asynchronous action creator, in which we are calling the AJAX call, XCS call. This is a synchronous action creator. Here we are not calling any AJAX call. It has a type only. We don't need any payload here. And this is the action which is being triggered for appearing, for showing the spinner. So that's why this is the, if we see, this is of type fetch employee start. If I will go to our debugging, so this is the action which is being triggered when our spinner is being shown. This is triggered when the data is being fetched from the database. So that's why if you see the state, only the difference in loading is true. We can see in the application when that state is triggered, what it appears by using the time traveling debugging. If I will click on the jump, now we are at the time when this action was triggered. So this is useful only for showing the spinner. So means the spinner will be shown until the data is being fetched from the database. So we'll jump to here where data is being fetched from the database. The spinner disappears. So if you see now the loading, I will go to here. Now the loading gets false. Along with employees get that. Employees are having some data, original data also having some data, and loading is false. That's why spinner disappears. For this spinner to be shown, we have an action creator, in which we are returning an object, an action. So it's an action creator because it will create an action. An action is an object having type and payload. Type is mandatory and payload is optional. So it's having a type of action type that fetch employee start. What is this action type? If we scroll to the top, here you are importing everything, star means everything as action type. This is the alias from action types. So this is the action types where we have defined. So we are accessing this one, fetch employee start. So it will give this action types, fetch employee start. So usually we name everything as same. Okay. So we are accessing that using the action type dot fetch employee start, because we have imported this. Again, for this XCS call also we need to import XCS from our XCS employees file. So if you have seen my previous videos, I have created the XJS employees. So here we are creating the base URL, the instance of an XJS with a base URL. So we have to import that too. Okay. So here we are calling our AJAX call to fetch the data from the database, employee related data. We need a spinner, that's why we have to dispatch this action. That's why dispatch means this action will be triggered and we are seeing the spinner. Then once this we are getting the response, we have to dispatch another action, fetch employee success. But what fetch employee success is doing? In fetch employee success, if you see, we are passing the fetch employees as well as the response.data. So fetch employees means here we are manipulating the response. We get the in the response.data we will get an object having key as ID of the employee along with the employee details as the values. We need only this employee related information. That's why we are doing object.value that we have seen if you have seen my previous videos. Along with we need the original data. Means if we will use the Redux debugging tool, this is my original data in which it's an object having the key as the employee node key, what we have seen in the Firebase, along with the employee related information. So means it's an object having key and value, and we are interested with, for displaying this employees, we are interested with the property of this key, not the key. To get this property from this object, we have a function object.values. That's what we are doing to get those properties as in an array. Then we need the original data also. That's what we are passing to this action creator. In this action creator, we have employees and original data. It's action creator. It's a synchronous action creator which is returning a action having a type which is a mandatory and having the payload. So we are providing payload. One is employees payload, another is original data payload. You can name as per your convenience. And if our AJAX call get failed, this is how we are doing. We have to dispatch another action, fetch employees fail, where we are passing the error message. So this is the action, and in this action we are passing the payload as error. We are passing the error payload, and this action is needed only for making the loader as false, because when it fails, when our AJAX call fails, we need our spinner to disappear. That's why it is needed. Okay. So this is how we will create an action. So whatever the action we have created, we have to then group this export action in a file, index.js file. If you see in index.js file, we have a export. We are exporting the action. We are grouping all the action here in one place. So from the .employees file, from this action, that's why we have written the export, not here from this action. That's why we have written the export keyword. So we usually export this action where we are calling the AJAX call, fetch employees. So if you see, I have fetch employee export here. You won't see the export related to the employee start fail, because these are the action creator that we are calling within this fetch employee action creator. So that's why those export is not needed, because we are calling it internally. If we need it, then we can also export that also. Here we are grouping all the exported action in index.js file. Let's close this. Let's go to the reducer. We have one reducer, employee.js file. So reducer is a pure function. So here also we have to import the action types. This is the action types that we have used before in the action in reducer 2. We have to use that. Then we have to create an initial state for our reducer. This is the state which is being which we are seeing during the loading of our application. So when our application loads, this is the action which is by default called, and this is the state. Okay, employees is empty array, then it's null, false, false, then message is empty. So this is the state we have defined. So this will be for initializing our store with some state, some default state. Then we have a const reducer. You can name as it is, means you can name anything of your choice. I have named this a reducer. It's a function, arrow function, having two parameters, one is state, another action, and we have to initialize state with the initial state that we have declared. Then we have a switch statement in which it takes the action.type. That's why I told you, like while creating the action, this type is necessary. This type is necessary. And in reducer, we are catching only the synchronous action, not asynchronous action. Means only the action in which we are not calling the AJAX call. The action in which we are calling the AJAX call, those are not being configured in reducer. That is not needed at all. Because this action is needed, this synchronous action needed, because this action have some payload which we need to update in the state. That's why this action need to be cached in the reducer. And this, the action that we are called, that we use for our AJAX call, for our access call, that's a middleware that is being possible using the Redux thunk. So it's a middleware between the actual action and reducer. That's why we don't have to cache that in the reducer. So in the reducer you will find all the actions, all the synchronous actions, not asynchronous action. So it's a switch statement having action.type on the basis, means whatever the type it matched, that case will be executed. In the case also we have defined action types dot fetch employee start. When our employee page is loaded for the first time, we need our loader. That's why we are making loading as true. And if we are changing something, first of all we have to copy all the state. So we usually update our state immutably. That's why we have to do this spread operator. It will fetch all the entire state, then whatever you want to update, that we have to configure here. So triple dot state, it will spread, it will take all these properties, and we want to only update the loading, so I am making loading as true. That will be updated. So when loading is true, that's why we are seeing the spinner when this action is triggered, right? Here loading is true. If you see, the state is true. Here we are making the loading as true. Then this is the success action. This will be triggered when our data gets fetched successfully from our database. So in this also we are only manipulating the employees original data and loading as false. So if you see in the start, you won't see anything, any data changes except loading. If you go to the success, you will see employees array is populated with the employees that is being fetched from the database. Even original data also populated with the data with a key and value pair. Then you will see loading is also false. Earlier it was true. So whatever you want to manipulate, whatever you want to change, you will specify here. And you have to return that. Everywhere you have to return that. And if it's fail, we need only loading as false. If our AJAX call failed because of network issues or because of incorrect URL or API not found, all those kind of stuffs, we have to we have to make our spinner disappear. That's why we are making loading as false here, right? Then what we have to do? We have created our action and reducer. Okay. So we have to, one more thing, we have to export this reducer also, so that it can be imported here. We have imported this here. Import any name. I have given employee reducer from reducer/employee. Okay, this one. And we have to provide that to the combined reducer, because we can have, in our application we can have more than one reducer. So we have to combine all the reducer into a single reducer. and we are providing a means this employee reducer contains the state. This is the state having the properties. This is the state having the properties. This state is an object, so we have to provide a key for this state. We have to provide a slice for this state. So that's why. So in index.js file, we have a slice of EMPS colon employee reducer, means that state. The state whatever we have manipulated, either on the page load it will be initial state, and on the action trigger it will be the manipulated state. That's why in the dev tool you are seeing the entire state having a slice of EMPS. Like if you have one more reducer, we can provide one more slice. Like order reducer, ordered slice, orders colon order reducer, then ordered slice will be created. In this way we can create a slice of state. Okay. Then we will go to our component where we need to dispatch this action. We have created the action, we need to dispatch it from the component wherever we need that. For that, what we have to do, first of all we have to connect our component to the store. For that you have to import connect from React Redux. Then you have to import the actions also. This action that we have defined in this index.js file, the exported action, so that we can import, so that we can utilize that. You have to import star everything alias as action from this index file. Okay. Then we have imported the connect. We have to connect our component to the store. So this is earlier we have written this with error handler, for it contains the HTTP interceptor for handling the global errors, in which we have provided the class name along with Axios. This we have done earlier. Just we have to enclose that within a within a bracket, so that it will be provided as an argument to the connect. Then we have a connect. In connect we have to provide map state to props. Why map state to props is needed? To, like, if we need the data from the store, we need to map the state in the store to the props. That's why it is named map state to props. If we want to dispatch the action from the component, we need map dispatch to props. We are dispatching the action, we are mapping the dispatch action to props. Everything we are mapping to props, state to props and dispatch to props, so that we can access using the props concept. And this is what we have to create. So here we have created constant map state to props equal to it receives is a function having an argument state. So here we are returning the data that we need in our application. So we need the employee state, we need the loading state for the loader, original data, then success message if it is deleted or updated, and means success for the showing the dialog box. If it is true, success is true, dialog box is shown. If success is false, dialog box is disappeared. Then message for showing the success message or failed message. So these are the state that we need, and we have means these are the data that we need, and we are mapping this data to the props. And this how we are fetching the value from the state. This is the state, this is the global state. And if you see in index.js file, we have created a slice of the state EMPS. That's why you have to access that state by using state.emps.employees. Means this is the state that we have defined in the reducer employees or original data. So state.slice.these properties, what we have defined here. Right. Then we have map dispatch to props. It's also a function having an argument dispatch. It's also written an object in which here we are dispatching the action. So on fetch employees, like on fetch load, I need to dispatch my fetch employees action. So this fetch employees action, if you see, go to the index.js file, this is the fetch employees, and if means this map to this one action. means fetch employees, this one where we are calling the call to the database to get the data from the database. This is the action that we have to trigger in the component. We have to dispatch. So you can name any name of it is. It's again a function in which we have to dispatch action.fetch employees. This is the action that we have imported right here. This is the action that we have imported from the index file. So action.fetch employees. So it means it will call this action. In this action we are showing the loader. Again we are triggering another action with the response that we have got. So we are dispatching the asynchronous action, the action in which we are calling the AJAX call from the component. Likewise, for remove employee, if you want to delete the employees, you have to dispatch action.remove employees. And in this remove employees, you want to provide the employee ID, employee index. Means employee ID means which employee you want to remove, then index of that employee. If you want some argument, then also you can pass like this. If you go to this remove employee action, we will go to the remove employee action. So this is for remove employee. This is the remove employee action where we are calling the AJAX call. Okay, access call for delete. We need the spinner, we need the success message, even we need the fail action. Okay, but here the difference is we need for AJAX call we need the employee ID to delete and employee index. Okay, and this is the action which we triggered for showing the spinner when the action is being deleted. Then this is for the fail action, and this is for the success action. In success action we are providing the success flag as true, then message deleted successfully, then employee index, the index of the employee that we have removed, and we are passing this as an action payload. And this is remove employee success. If you go to the reducer, you will find these are the actions related to our remove employee. First is remove employee start for showing the spinner, remove employee fail for making the spinner as false and success as false. We don't need any success dialog box. And when the remove employee gets successfully removed, what we have to do, we have written some logic here because we removed from the database by using the AJAX call that we have done in the action right here. But we need to update our store also. For that we have to write some logic. We are extracting the employee that is present in the store, in the state of the store. Then we are splicing that, we are removing that employee's index. Then we are updating our employees with that employees. Means now the deleted employee is removed. We have to update the state also. So then we have to update the message that we have passed in the payload. So if you see in the payload we have passed success message, then employee index, all these things we can access by using the action keyword, action.message, action.success. For getting the index, action.employee index. So here we are manipulating the state using the payload of action, and we can write some logic also before manipulating the state. Okay, likewise this is all our removing employee action. Likewise we have update employee action also, where we are dispatching the update employee, in which we need the employee copy, means the employee that we need to update, then employee ID, then employee index. And if you go to the action, we will find, not here, If you go to the not here, yeah. If you go to our action place, you will find add employee start, add employee fail, add employee success. Okay. In add employees, we are receiving the employee that we need to update. So employee to post that we need to update. So we are updating that employee by using this Ajax call, and we need this spinner, and when it's success we need another action, and when it's fail we need another action. In fail, as usual, we are passing error message in the start. We don't need any payload because we are making loading as true. In success, here also in add employee we don't need any payload. Likewise, so payload is optional. So these are the actions that we have triggered. Even close model, if you see close model, it's a synchronous action. If you go to the close model action, you'll see, yeah, close model. It's only a synchronous action creator where we are returning only type close model. If you go to our reducer, you'll see in the close model we are making success as false and message as empty. Success false to remove the model, because when our model, when our action gets successfully executed, like if deleted successfully or update successfully, we are showing the error message in a dialog, and on click of the cross button or on click of OK button in the dialog, we need to make our dialog window to disappear. For that, when we click on the OK button in the dialog, OK button means, let's suppose if I am updating, I updated successfully, I am getting this dialog box, but I need this dialog window to be closed. On click of OK button, just watch on these actions. On click of OK button, if you see close model is called, this is the action that is being called, and what it did is, what's the difference is, if you go to the difference, it is making the message to empty and success from true to false. When success is false, our dialog box disappears. So this is a synchronous action, so we don't need any spinner for that. So that's why we have only one action. Okay. So here in map dispatch to props, we are mapping the dispatch action to the props. Here map state to props, we are mapping the state to the props, so that we can access all this using the props. If you don't want to, if let's suppose in this component I don't need to subscribe to my state, I don't need state at all. So in that case, what you have to do, instead of writing this, you have to write null. Okay. If you won't need any state, if you don't want to utilize the state of the store in your component, you need only action to be dispatched, so like this. And if you don't need any action to dispatch, then you can remove this also. Like, let's suppose in this action we need only the state, we don't want any action to be dispatched, then we don't have to write this, and you don't have to include here. We need only state, but here we need both. We need our action to be dispatched as well as the state to be consumed. Okay. Then this is the action on fetch employees that we have to call. So we are calling this action using in the component did mount. We are calling this.props because we map the action to the props, so we can access that by using this.props on fetch employees. Then on fetch employees means it will dispatch this action, fetch employees action. And if you go to the fetch employees action, once again let's revisit that action. In fetch employees action, first we will go to index.js file, fetch employees here, then it will go to the actions file, then it will call this action, this asynchronous action. in which we are dispatching the loader, dispatching the success action against the fail action. Okay, in this way it is the flow, and those actions being handled by the reducer. On the basis of case statement, it will update our state. Okay, on the basis of this 3 case statement, it will update our state. So action is getting executed by using the reducer, and reducer is the function which is used for manipulate the state in the store. Likewise, on remove employees. So in this we are passing the employee ID as well as employee index to the action. We need to call this action. When we will call this action, on click of delete button. So if we see the delete button, you will find in the employee component, and we are handling this event here. Like on click of delete button, we are calling this function delete employee handler. If you go to the delete employee handler, here delete employee handler, here what we are doing, earlier we are doing the access call here, but everything I moved to the action areas, to the redux. So for removing all this, everything is I move to the redux area. So here only what we have to do, first of all we have to find the employee to delete, which employee the user has clicked for delete. That then we have to use this.props.onRemoveEmployee. Here it is calling the action with employee to delete as well as employee index. Why this parameter is needed? Because we need this employee ID and employee index here, which is being passed to the action. Like on update employee, we'll see that too. So we are on. So this is the, like if we are updating an employee, like if we are typing anything in the text area, then it will call this name change handler. So this is like if you have seen previous video, you could be able to correlate. In the name change handler, what we are doing, we are calling again the unupdate employee action with the employee copy. Means the new employee with the new value that user has entered, along with the employee ID that user want to update, along with the employee index. Why these 3 parameters needed? Because we need that in action 2. Okay. So everything like in if we go to the again on update employee action in the name change handler, here also we are doing access call, the AJAX call to update our employee. That I moved to the action section, to the redux section. So if you see update employee, see here I move this to the access, to the redux section. So everything, every AJAX, all the AJAX call I move to the redux section. Okay. In this way we can dispatch an action from the component. And if you want to see the add employee action, then we have to go to the add employee component. Let me open here. So here also we need to dispatch the action, and also if you need to consume the state, because here we need the loading state, so that when the employee get when we are connected to the server, when the process is going on for inserting the new employee, we need our loader to appear. For that we need the loading state. That's why we have to use map state to props. Again we need the action, so we have to use map dispatch to props with the dispatch action along with some key. This we need to connect to the employee Means we have to use the connect also, so that our add employee component get connected to our store with map state to props and map displays to props. And along with that we need with error handler, because we are calling access call in this function, the ajax call, for posting the data, for inserting data in database. So this is for handling the error using intercept concept. So as we are using the connect, so same process is being followed. We have to import that connect from the React Redux. Along with we need the actions from the index file, this action. If you see here, we have defined add employee. If you go to our action, here it is the add employee action. We are dispatching with the employee object that we need to add as a payload to the post method. Okay, so that's why we need this index file import. Then where we are doing, on click of, if you see, on click of submit button, we are calling employee data handler. This is the employee data handler, where we are creating the payload with the name, ID, age, country, email, whatever the user has entered in the form. Then we are calling we are dispatching the action by using this.props.on add employee with the payload, with the employee that we need to insert. And if you see the map dispatch to prop, we get the employee that we need to insert. Then we are calling action.add employee with the employee payload. It will go to the index.js file. It will find this add employee. Then it will go to the action file. It will find the add employee with a payload, employee that we want to add. Then we are dispatching this employee start for the loader. And then we are passing this employee to post as a payload for the post method, so that it will be inserted into the database. Then once it gets success, we are dispatching the add employee success method. So here also we are only passing the type no payload is needed, and when it is fail, then we are passing add employee fail with an error payload. And if you go to, then once this action is triggered, it will go to the reducer file. Okay, it will go to the reducer here. So here is the add employees. These are the cases for the add employees. For add employee start, it will, the loading is true, means we will see the spinner. When it's success, here we want to make that spinner to disappear, loading is false. When it's fail, again also we need to make the loading as false. Here only we were working with the loading state. And from the debugger perspective, if you want to see, let me go to the add employee and clear everything. Let me add an employee here. Let's be Rocky, age 30, employee ID, some unique ID I will give, employee 8, let's suppose. Then email Rocky24, country, let's it be USA. Just keep an eye on this, okay, in the debugger tool. On click of submit button, you will see the action being triggered. For the start, to see the spinner, if you click on the start, if you see the state, if you see the difference, we are making loading as true. If you see the state, here we have employees data, because we are navigating from employees component to here, so that's why this is getting populated. Even we will see the original data. Okay, then add employee success. First difference, we are making loading to false again to make the spinner disappears. Okay, so if you go to the Firebase, you will see one more employee get added. So if you see, currently the state is not updated yet. In the employees array, we are seeing only 2 employees, not the third employee. because we have not navigated to employees component. If we navigate to the employees component, see, two actions are again triggered: start for spinner, success for success for updating the employee state. If we will click on this start, you will see the difference. Difference is we are making loading to true again to show the spinner. When success, the difference is we have added an extra employee, the newly created employee, the Rocky employee. Along with we have updated loading true to false. Okay, this is the difference that we are seeing. Correct. So in the here also original data also we are updating the new employee. This is how we can see the difference. So let me remove, and if you see here, you are seeing this new employee Rocky and this two employee are already being there. If you want to delete this employee, click on this, just keep an eye on here, delete. You are seeing the spinner for this start, then success for when it's deleted successfully. If you see the difference, we are making loading to false to true, then success. In the success, what we are doing, we are updating. See, in success we have deleted from the database, we need to update in the store also. So here we are updating our store, so we are removing that employees from the employee array. Okay, again we are making loading true to false. Along with we have changed the message from empty to deleted successfully, and success from false to true. And this message and success message we are seeing here, and success when it is true, we are seeing the dialog box. If I will click on the OK button, then you will see one more action being triggered, which is a synchronous action which makes success to false and message to empty, so that our dialog box get closed. Click on this, you will see close model. Difference is message is false, means message is empty, and success is false again. So dialog box get closed and you are seeing only two employees. Third one is deleted from the database as well as store. So in the Redux concept, what we are doing, first of all, we are doing Ajax call to database. Once our database gets success, we are calling our synchronous action for updating the state also, for updating the state in the store also. That also need to be done. First we need to update the database, then to the store. In this sequence it will follow. For updating the database, we need an asynchronous action creator. For that we have to install Redux Thunk, and in the asynchronous action creator we have to call the synchronous action creator for updating the state in the store after updating the database. So first we have to update database, then to the store. Same updation is required in the store, so that our page is updated with new data. So if let's suppose if we are only doing the changes in the database but we are not updating our state in the store, then even the database get updated, but in this page you will see the old data, because in the page we are not connected to the database, we rather connected to the store. That's why we have to manipulate the data in the database first. Same manipulation is needed in the store, so that everything is in sync. So this is all about the Redux concept. So this is one of the important concept, and I have covered all the card operation, updation, deletions, creations, so everything. So just go through this and try it out. And this is a best debugger tool where you can do time traveling debugging. Even if you see, this is a play button for time traveling debugging. It will start from here to up to the last action. If I will click on that, you will see the UI also get changed. Okay, so this is going, first of all our state is initialized, then this, see, this is highlighted, means now this is removing our employees. It gets removed successfully, then model is closed. It's also a time traveling debugging. So we have covered all the important concepts in Redux. So thank you guys for watching. So please subscribe to my channel and be tuned with me. Thank you guys. Bye. Oh God.